Let's start with a little chord test. Make that a big chord test. This thing sounds huge. Very well balanced, very deep. And you get this feeling in the basses that they're very responsive. They're ready to pop off the string. Hello and welcome to the Guitar Collection. In my hands today is a very lightweight and elegant guitar by the American luthier Eric Sahlin from Spokane, Washington. Now, this is actually the first Sahlin guitar that I've had in my shop, but I've played several of these and I've always been impressed. Now, Sahlin guitars are very well known, and he is an American luthier that has a rather long wait list. It's many years at this point. And this instrument is from 2013, and I really didn't know what I was going to think about this guitar. I mean, aside from the way it looks, which I really enjoy, I mean, it's got a beautiful rosette, and we'll get all of those details in a second. I really wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the sound of this guitar. And by the way, this one is also at a very reasonable price point. And so when I was getting to know this guitar, I mean, from the first chord, I was really impressed by the depth of the sound, the power of the guitar, and just the rich color palette. Now, we'll get more into the sound in a second, but Eric Sahlin's known for using extremely old woods, always preferring really old woods that are highly resonant, and this one is no exception. This guitar, like I said, is from the year 2013, and it features this spruce top, which now, of course, it's been living on this guitar for more than 12 years. So it's got some coloration to it. It's no longer that really bright white spruce, and this guitar sounds very open. So if that's something you want to sort of cut to the chase with, you want a nice open sounding guitar, this one's definitely could be for you. Now, looking a little bit closer, you can see this rosette here, which is really subtly flashy, but really staying very elegant. I mean, you can see these little blocks along the center of the guitar are outlined by what looks like little pieces of abalone shell. It's really quite nice. And on the inside and the outside of the rosette, you'll see this brownish tan wheat motif encircling that beautiful abalone. And it just adds a really nice touch. Very simple bindings and purflings on this guitar. The bridge also made of Indian rosewood and with plenty of room to adjust. The back and sides of the guitar made from Indian rosewood as well. And the top has a 7-fan bracing pattern. When it comes to the neck, it is quite thin. It is a very nice thin neck. This is my preference, honestly. It's nice and thin. The frets are medium to tall, and the action is very nice and low, with plenty of room to adjust if you ever wanted to. Something very interesting about his necks, and you've seen a number of luthiers do this, I don't always mention it, but the neck has a twist to it that goes this way. So you can imagine when you're doing a bar chord in first position, where sometimes you get like left out in this type of cranked angle here where your wrist gets quite uncomfortable, you're actually twisting this way a little bit on this guitar. So when you sit here for the bar chord, your wrist angle can stay a little bit flatter, and it's not something that you may ever notice if you weren't told this, but what you would notice is that you're more comfortable. And I think that's a detail that it must take a lot of time. I mean, when you look down this guitar, you can see how this nut is at a different angle than the saddle. And you can see the neck bend, and it is really comfortable. It's definitely no learning curve or anything. You just feel relaxed and comfortable on the guitar. Moving on up to the headstock, you'll see that same abalone motif going down the center of it, maybe a subtle little nod to Boucher here in the headstock shape, and then a really amazing Graf tuners here. You hardly see these anymore. They're extremely smooth. And then on the back of the headstock, you have a really nice little, what do you call this, a veneer on the back of the headstock that is Indian rosewood here. It adds a little touch of class. Really matches this guitar well. It ties it all together. But now let's get into the sound of this guitar and do some tests on it. Let's start with a little chord test. Make that a big chord test. This thing sounds huge. Very well balanced, very deep. And you get this feeling in the basses that they're very responsive. They're ready to pop off the string. And then maybe trying 5th position. That's a colorful sound. This is what you get with, when you take a really world-class maker and then you combine that with a top that has been played, a guitar that has been played for the past 12 years, you get this beautiful bell-like sound, especially out of this spruce, that is just so resonant and open. Really beautiful sound. Maybe we explore each of the strings individually a bit, starting with the 6th string. And the 5th. Really resonant, really alive, very, very alive. And maybe the 4th. Very cello-like, really sings. And then now the trebles, which are all nylon, by the way. A really nice sound that isn't afraid to be fragile and also isn't afraid to be pushed. It's just an all-around great traditional guitar. And like many of the best traditional guitars, it's so hard to even say that it's less in volume than a lot of the double tops out there. I think the voice of this guitar will carry plenty well in a hall, in a bedroom, in a living room, in your house. It's really a pleasant sound. And you really gotta listen for this sometimes, because sometimes a guitar is just blatantly louder but doesn't have quite as lovely of a sound. And almost everyone would prefer to hear the one like this that has a really lovely sound. Let's play a little bit of Prelude 11 by Tárrega, which I play on just about every guitar that comes through here. What a lovely guitar. I'm really happy that somewhere along the line this guitar is 13 years of traveling, that this has landed in my lap and I've had a chance to hear how one of these guitars sounds like after a lot of years of play and really careful handling as well, because there are hardly any marks on this guitar. Of course, there's a little bit of evidence of play, but there's not big Raschiato rakes under the strings or lots of nail marks, or there's not even a string ding under the bridge. So this guitar is very well cared for, and this thing has the voice and character of a guitar that has been played a lot and has a very mature sound. So, well, congratulations to Eric Sahlin of Spokane, Washington. This guitar is from 2013, bearing his signature, and has been really fun to get to know. So if you're interested in learning more about this guitar, you can check it out at guitarcollection.com. You'll see a full album of photos and a description there. Please also don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'd love to see what you think about this guitar, so please let me know. Leave a comment. Be sure to tune into the live streams just about every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. I've been doing those. Thanks again for watching this video, you all, and I'll see you in the next one.